time for Newsfeed. A very good afternoon. My name is Hemini Gilda Mugeni. Now, Deputy President William Ruto this morning met the Okoa Uchumi campaign team and the Angaza movement to deliberate on matters current economic crisis and governance. Ruto insisted that his Kenya Kwanza team, or rather government, will incorporate entrepreneurs to execute his bottom-up economic model as stipulated in his manifesto. Take a look.
Or something, but I don't think it is prudent. And therefore, the Kenya Kwanza administration, by God's grace, we will first and foremost figure out how to stop borrowing. Slow down, eventually stop borrowing. That's number one. Number two, how do we fund what we need to fund and the commitments we have made and the promises we are making? We have two options. When you hear us talk about bottom up is not bottom versus up. It is bottom up. We believe that there is a huge category of Kenyans that today have no chance of paying taxes, not because they don't want, but because they are not in a position to pay. How did we arrive at this pool of Kenyans? We inject into the labor market about 800,000, 900,000 people every year. 50,000 get jobs in corporate Kenya. Another 150,000 get jobs in formal SMEs. But 600,000 odd Kenyans join this space.
Now, Nairobi gubernatorial candidate Johnson Sakaja has promised that if elected Nairobi governor, he will ensure that traffic snarl-ups witnessed in the CBD or in the city becomes a thing of the past by introducing train transport. He has also assured that he will also ensure each ward in Nairobi receives 50 million shillings to boost businesses and to be able to create job opportunities for the youth.
Being nonpartisan, we have a bottom-up economic forum after this. Send someone there, the Kenya Kwanza team, send someone to Azimio, so that you are on the table. And I keep saying, if you're not on the table, you'll be on the menu. So you have to choose whether you want to be on the table or on the menu. For us, and I'm glad you invited our team, I'm here with my running mate, Njoroge Mushiri, who, as Carol said, is part, or rather has come from one of the member organizations from ABSA. He's been in the corporate sector for many years. I'm very lucky and honored to have him as my running mate, and we form a team that wants to take Nairobi to the next level. Carol said that Nairobi is one of the cities where we say it used to be like this, now it is not. And the rest of the world, they say, we didn't have this, now we do. And I keep telling people there are two ways to look at Nairobi. In terms of what it has always been, in terms of what's not working, or in terms of what it must be. It's very easy to be skeptical. It's very easy to have doubts. But we choose to remain unapologetically optimistic without being recklessly naive about what Nairobi can and must be. And I want to summarize that, even as I go through the areas that Carol has listed. Quite briefly, because of time. We want a city of order and dignity. If we provide order and dignity to all, in all aspects, then we shall create a city of hope and opportunity for everybody.
Now, as the country prepares to host the World WRC 2022 edition in Naivasha, Nakuru County, there's little to show that there is a magnitude of such an occurrence yet to take place in 2 days in the town as compared to a beehive of activities witnessed last year. Our reporter Willie Dennis Ndiru is at the CBD interacting with the locals on their insights on this developing story. Good afternoon, Dennis. If you can hear me, bring us up to speed on the latest developments in Naivasha.
Thank you very much indeed, Gilda, coming to you live from the heart of Naivasha. This is the I would rather say so much activities that were going on here today. It is just a different thing in mind that we just have a day to go before the onset or the kick of the WRC 2022 edition. As you can see with me here, we have taxis. Exactly this year, same time last year, we never had taxis around this place because all taxis were up and about ferrying funds here and there. And with me, I have two gentlemen here who are going to be giving us their insight in regard to this year's WRC. Tafadhali ndugu, unaweza simama hapa utueleze jina la kwako, alafu turn tu kwa kamera, alafu utueleze Thomas. Tueleze tu jina la kwako and utueleze mambo yako aje mwaka huu ukiwa mkazi wa Naivasha ya WRC.
Okay, kwa majina yangu naitwa Kimani. Mimi ni mwendeshaji wa taksi hapa Naivasha. Mwaka huu mambo ya safari rally imebadilika sana. Sio kama venye ilikuwa last year. Naweza sema raundi hii tuko chini sana. Na kulingana na maoni yangu nafikiria maisha venye inatupeleka ndivyo tunaichukulia hali ilivyo katika Naivasha. So kwangu ni kusema tu tutafurahia zikipita, watu wakisherehekea, lakini sasa sisi hatuna la kusherehekea. Biashara sasa tuseme taksi ziko chini. Ukiangalia zile magari zinachukuliwa huko ni zile magari kubwa kubwa. Unaangalia zetu ni hizi magari ziko chini sana. So sisi hatuna la kufurahia na hii hali ya safari rally. Lakini twashukuru tu juu town yetu na mabadiliko kidogo.
Unaona kama ni kitu gani ambacho hakikufanyika jinsi kilivyofanyika mwaka uliopita?
Okay, mwaka uliopita kulikuwa na watu wengi walikuwa wanafanya biashara hii ndogo ndogo. Lakini kwa mwaka huu naona kama kuna mabadiliko kiasi. Wengi hawana. So tuwasema tu tutashukuru tu venye kutakuwa hiyo weekend, tutasherehekea vizuri kulingana na ile mapato tutapata. Asante.
Na asante sana kwa muda wako. Ndugu, tusikie jina la kwako alafu tueleze mambo yako aje.
We apologize for the technical hitch. We shall go back to Dennis later on as he gives us an insight on the latest developments on the World Rally Championships set to take place in Naivasha, Nakuru County in 2 days' time. Now, the operations at the Kenya Ports Authority Terminal 2 in Mombasa County are set to kick off. Vessels have already started docking at berth at 22, which is the newest among other more than 19 berths. The terminal is expected to accommodate large vessels, including Panamax vessels, with a cumulative estimate of 550 million 20 feet equivalent. Let's listen in to the function that happened earlier on.
In English or nyingi ni containerized business. Na hapa tulipo tuko container terminal 2. Container terminal 2 ni kusema tuko na container terminal number 1 ile ambayo iko ngambo ile, iko na magati matatu 3 berths, na tuko city 2 ambayo iko na magati matatu. Sasa la tatu tumelipokea kutoka kwa contractor, Japanese contractor who have been constructing this project under Toyo. Tumeipokea wiki mbili zilizopita. Ili kusema kwamba nikitaka kuongea mambo ya hii terminal yote ni reclaimed from the sea. Hizi hekari zote 100 zimekuwa reclaimed from the sea, tukaweza kujenga haya magati matatu. Haya magati mnaona ni yale yanaitwa state of the art facility. These are the best terminals you can find anywhere in the world, and I want to say that, like in Africa, you find them in very few countries. You can find them in Djibouti and South Africa and Egypt and a few countries. Haya ni magati ambayo yamesaidia sana katika kupakua na kupakia meli zetu haraka sana. Pia tumeweza kupata meli kubwa. Meli zile zinakuja na over 4,000 TEUs in out. Tunaweka container mpaka 4,000 yanakuja hapa. Hizi ni meli kubwa. Ukiangalia ile CT1 haingeweza kupokea hizo meli kubwa ambazo tunaita Panamax na Post-Panamax vessels. Ndizo hizi zimekuja kwa hili gati. Kitu kingine na container terminal 2 ni kwamba 40% ya biashara yetu ya containerized. Tukiwa na hii berth number 20 na 21 peke yake, hata siongei mambo ya hii berth number 22 ambayo imepokelewa juzi, tulikuwa tunafanya 40% ya container business. Na sababu ni kwamba vile nimesema, hii terminal imeundwa kwa muundo wa kisasa ambao pia unatumia teknolojia sana. Kama vile mnajua KPA imeinvest sana kwa teknolojia. Our port is basically essentially paperless.
From Mombasa, we head to Kakamega County, where members of the DAP-K party in Kakamega County have accused party officials under the Azimio One Kenya for sidelining them in their campaigns despite being in one coalition. Led by Mumias East MP, DAP-K candidate Peter Salasia threatened to support their opponents in the Kenya Kwanza Alliance if they continue campaigning for the ODM candidates in the grassroots level. Violet Auma joins us live from Mumias East, the Salaya's residence, where he is receiving defectors from other parties. Good afternoon, Violet, if you can hear me. What is the latest?
Yeah, thank you, Heminigilda. Yes, I'm coming to you live from Mumias East sub-county, which is one of the 12 sub-counties here in Kakamega County. Among the leaders in Azimio la Umoja, that is DAP-K, they have decried that they have been secluded in many of the campaigns that have been organized here in Kakamega County, led by Azimio la Umoja presidential candidate and as well as the gubernatorial candidates here in Kakamega County. And so they are saying it is something that the leaders have to look into to ensure that all parties under Azimio la Umoja are included, or rather, recognized in all their campaigns here in Kakamega County. And so I'm joined with DAP-K candidate here in Mumias East sub-county, Peter Salasia. Why will you say that you are being segregated here, or rather secluded in parties in many of the campaigns that have been organized by the Azimio la Umoja in Kakamega County?
First and foremost, you realize that if it's the ODM, they want to focus on ODM candidates, and it's something that we see that it's detrimental to other aspirants. And this is what we will just want to see. Like DAP party, we have the women rep, who is Mama Naomi Shionga, and we have like here in Mumias East, I am here. And we also want to ask the ODM party to protect the interests of the DAP, so that when it comes even to the support, could be any given support. And even when you're going to campaign, even for the governor, like the Fernandez Baraza, who is our main aspirant, that he holds all the aspirants for the DAP, and so that because the focus is to galvanize bring together all the votes for Raila and our governor here. And even also so the governor Fernandez should be holding the Mama Women Rep, who is the DAP, and when it comes to Mumias East here, we have here, and any other, so that people can have their own choice. And we believe that we will not lose as Azimio.
You had a meeting today. What is the meeting all about?
The meeting today was to receive those Kenya Kwanza candidates who had been bought by the Washialis and the team. But fortunate enough is that they realized where the light is, and the light for the Mumias East is this seat is specifically for the DAP under my candidature, and I'm happy that they have come at my place, and I'm grateful that we are winning this thing together with them.
Thank you so much. And also, Azimio la Umoja have been, actually ODM have been calling for a 6-piece among all the candidates that are vying today. What is your take on the same?
Linda Sewa Malwa, MCA Kakamega County Lurambi. I want to thank Raila Amolo Odinga to bring together so many parties under Azimio. But unfortunately, the sad part of it in Kakamega County, Azimio party leadership, some individuals, calling them leaders, they're coming down to sub-county level to endorse ODM candidate. They should know that Raila Amolo Odinga struggled to bring so many parties under Azimio ticket purposely to win presidential candidate. But in Kakamega County, we see some leaders coming and endorse ODM candidates only, disrespecting Raila's move to call so many parties to support his presidential bid. Okay. So I urge our leaders, specifically ODM leaders, they should know that DAP as a party will field candidates across sub-counties. So when they come down here to endorse candidates, they should consider that Azimio has so many parties, and they should know that other parties need to, they are going for this elective seat, that they should not endorse ODM candidates only across the Kakamega County.
Kwako wewe. Hisia zako ni zipi?
Hisia zangu ni sisi tuliambiwa kama watu wa Azimio tu support Azimio kutoka juu mpaka chini, bora kiongozi hawa ako kwa Azimio tumsupport. Kweli tulikubaliana mpaka mheshimiwa wetu ambaye alikuwa mheshimiwa Savula akaenda alishuka chini akaachia Barasa ikawa wameungana. Lakini watu wa ODM wanatusumbua. Na mimi nataka niambie mheshimiwa Fernandez Barasa, wewe umefunikwa na watu wa ODM, hawakuruhusu utafute watu wenye wako kwa vyama vingine. Kama unataka kura za ODM, tuko tayari kuama na kura zetu za DAP kwenda kupigia mheshimiwa Cleophas Malala. Alafu nataka nikuambie mheshimiwa Washali, mheshimiwa tulikupenda tukakusupport sana. Toka mbele tunataka kuonana na huyo Maponi. Sisi hatukukataa kupigia kura, wewe mwenyewe ulisema hutaki hicho kiti. Tumekubaliana na wewe, lakini toa jamu mbele tukutane na Maponi. Wakati tulikusupport, Maponi hakukushika mkono.
Oh, thank you so much. Now let's talk to maybe the candidate, DAP officials at the county level.
My name is Michelle Haisia Sunguti. I'm the Vice Secretary DAP Kakamega County. We believe democracy is the government for the people and formed by the people. We are the people. And we thank Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga for being there for us as Azimio flag bearer. He's the one who has been fighting multi-democracy to happen in this country. So when we have all these political parties standing together to support him, it is quite unfortunate that we see DAP being undermined when it comes to Azimio La Umoja coalition. Anytime there's a rally, you realize that it is only ODM candidates being given a mileage. That is very wrong. All these votes that Raila Odinga needs, they'll only be achieved if all these parties come together, they stick together and support him.
Okay.
We have Mama Signal, Mama Naomi Shionga. She's running that seat as a women rep. We cannot neglect the fact that she's on a DAP candidature, and then she be sidelined when it comes to events hosted by Azimio. We want to work this thing together. But when we are divided, definitely when rifts emerge, we will not win.
Okay.
We must come together, sort this mess as early as now. We have 48 days to election. The earlier we close those holes that are appearing, the better for Azimio.
Okay.
Otherwise, tunadanganyana. And you see, the more someone is frustrated, atakuwa na mawazo ya kuona aende mahali atashikwa mkono. And our opponents are also trying to make calls. We've been trying to avoid them. But the more they push us to the wall, it is bringing some kind of communication that we don't want to talk about.
Okay, lastly, maybe let's get to the voice of the youth here. Remove your cap, kindly.
Kwa majina naitwa Mheshimiwa Evans Orata, ni Mumias East Constituency. Mimi nataka kukemea hii 6 piece ambayo Mheshimiwa Oparanya anatembea na Mheshimiwa Baraza wakitangazia wananchi. Sisi kama wana DAP tuko na viongozi ambao wamesimama under DAP Kenya. Mimi ni mmoja wao. Lakini Mheshimiwa Oparanya na Fernandez Barasa wametuacha sisi kama wachani.
Okay.
Sisi tunatembea peke yetu na sisi pia tumesimama under Azimio la Umoja.
Okay, thank you. Because of the interest of time, we'll have to leave it there. But of course, we'll have to follow up and get to know what we'll have to compile a comprehensive report on the same in our subsequent bulletins. I take it back to you, Hermenegilda Mgeni.
Thank you so much, Violet Baraza, reporter Violet Baraza reporting there from Kakamega County, with the DAP-K party, disgruntled party members saying the ODM party has sidelined them. Moving on, 2 voters from Kilifi County have moved to the High Court in Mombasa City County to file a petition that is meant to challenge the validity of UDA gubernatorial candidate Aisha Jumwa's academic qualifications. The 2, Rajab Menza Shikara and Daniel Chengo Kahindi, are seeking to challenge the decision by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to clear Jumwa as a gubernatorial candidate ahead of the August election for allegedly what they say is lack of a degree certificate. The 2 petitioners, who are being represented by lawyer Derek Odhiambo, have said they opted to go to the judicial court rather than the IEBC Election Dispute Tribunal, saying the election body tribunal has no capacity to grant them justice.
Tumeona afadhali nije ni file judicial review ili tujue ukweli, kwa sababu kule kwa IBC tribunal tulikuwa tunajua kuwa pengine haki haitatendeka, kwa sababu wenyewe jana walitangaza kuwa wao hawana right ya kubainisha kuinvestigate makaratasi ya mtu. Hatuna personal, kwa sababu mimi si mwanasiasa, mimi ni mfanya biashara na sijihusishi kabisa na siasa, lakini huwa nataka ukweli ubainike. Kama kweli amesoma tujue, manake itakuwa ni aibu, hata itakuwa pia inatoa morali kwa watu kusoma. Manake kama mtu anaweza kupata degree na hakusoma, hiyo ni mambo ya kuhuzunisha. Sisi ni ombi letu kabisa, asiwe gazetted mpaka hii application yetu itakapotajwa na kuamuliwa. So ombi letu ni yeye kae pembeni ili uchunguzi ufanywe.
The United Democratic Alliance Party supporters from Kiambu County are proposing that they be given another chance to nominate another candidate for the senatorial seat with the UDA party ticket. This comes after the UDA candidate Karungo Wathangwa was barred by the electoral body IEBC special committee after he was allegedly impeached while in office as the Minister of Sports in Kiambu County.
He was impeached, This is a document, this is a question.
Having learned about the disqualification of Kalongo Wathangwa, our UDA senatorial candidate in Kiambu by IEBC, we the Kiambu County UDA caucus members and leaders have resolved the following. We as UDA Kiambu fraternity cannot afford to lose the senatorial seat or any other seat in Kiambu. The party has a capacity and is capable to produce another candidate before it's too late. Kalongo Wathangwa has already been to the High Court 3 times, while the IBC has also rejected him 3 times. UDA is the most popular party in Kiambu County, and therefore the time to act is now. As loyal and faithful members of our party, we hereby call the party leadership to take action immediately before it's too late. We wish to finish by stating that if a player is injured while in the field in any game, the reserve puts on the jersey and the game continues. And in this case, we believe that the situation with our senatorial player demands for the substitute to put on the jersey immediately and enter the game, lest we risk being beaten by our opponents.
Kusema kweli inaonekana amejaribu njia zote, na ile sasa imebaki niyo tu moja ya koti, na pia tunamtakia wema, ushindi uwe pande yake.
The National Assembly Public Accounts Committee Chairman Opiyo Wandayi wants the next parliament to come up with legislation that will ensure academic certificate forgery becomes a capital offense. Wandayi said that the laws must provide for life sentence to anybody who will be convicted over the offense of faking or buying or fraudulently acquiring a degree certificate. Addressing the press in Siaya Town, the PSC chairman, who is also the Ugunja legislator, applauded the government agencies that have taken over investigations into the alleged forgery of certificates by those vying for various political seats.
When Parliament resumes its sittings, to amend the penal code to provide for life sentence in cases where one is convicted over the offense of faking or buying or in any way fraudulently acquiring degree certificates. We want to elevate that offense to the level of murder or robbery with violence. It's the only way to deal with this menace, because it's a menace that, if left unchecked, can ruin the future of a whole generation of Kenyans. It's such a serious matter that we cannot sit back and simply wait. We have to take the decisive measures, and the time to act is now. In the meantime, we want the DSPP, the DCI, all those agencies to act decisively and ruthlessly.
Elsewhere, Kisii County gubernatorial aspirant Ezekiel Mashogu has decried the high rate of Kenya's economic vulnerability. Addressing supporters at the Gesusu home, Mashogu further claimed UDA's presidential candidate William Ruto was committed to reverse the 90% vulnerability rate if elected into office. The UDA aspirant appealed to the residents to vote for him come August 9th if their economic welfare was to be uplifted, adding that he had what it took to become governor. Also, South Mugirango parliamentary aspirant Silvanus Osoro condemned the violence that rocked Jacaranda grounds in Embakasi East in Nairobi, alleging it was perpetrated by their opponents.
Kenya wale ambaye tuko nao ni 90% ambaye wako kwa hali ya chini, kiuchumi wako chini, na yule ambaye ataweza badilisha Kenya kiuchumi na Kenya iwe first world country si mwingine isipokuwa William Samoei Ruto. The violence that was meted against our sons and daughters in Jacaranda, the Kuzimia Battalion organized violence in Jacaranda yesterday. Tunaambia wao, siasa ya violence itaisha mwezi wa 8 tarehe.
Now, Kilifi gubernatorial aspirant Emerson Kingi has intensified his campaigns for Deputy President William Ruto in the coastal region. Kingi, who has been meeting groups of 1,000 grassroots opinion and influential leaders in each of the Kilifi's 35 wards, said Ruto is the only presidential candidate who has agreed to sign a pre-election pact with the coastal region. Currently, the governor is in the second constituency of Malindi after completing Magarini, where he is holding a series of similar meetings with grassroots opinion leaders. Kingi categorically told the residents to question Azimio la Umoja coalition leaders to produce their coalition agreement they have with the coast region. During his tour, Kingi displayed in public the coalition agreement in which his Pamoja African Alliance Party signed with the Kenya Kwanza Alliance together with other parties, a symbol of commitment to have problems of the coast addressed.
Kwamba hatutapiga kura bila mkataba. Watu wa ODM wakija hapa waulizeni, msituambie tu maneno matamu ya kinywani, tuonyesheni mkataba ambao huyo rais wenu Raila alitia sahihi baina ya Pwani na yeye. Huu ndio mkataba ambao chama cha PAA kilitia sahihi na muungano wa Kenya Kwanza kwa niaba ya Pwani. Huu ndio mkataba huu. Mkataba ulitiwa sahihi na watu wengi sana, lakini wa kwanza aliyetia sahihi ni William Ruto. Kija wawaletee mkataba baina yao na Raila. Hatutaki tena hadithi. Hatutaki tena hadithi za Bunwasi. Hatutaki tena ahadi za Matangani. Ikiwa na nia njema ya Mpwani, tuonyeshe mkataba. Mashamba Mpwani atayapata vipi? Leo hii angalau tuna bahati. Mheshimiwa William Ruto akiwa rais wa 5 wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Mpwani anajua wazi kwamba shamba atapata na uchumi wake utaimarika na poti yake ataregeshewa mwenyewe.
Moving on, residents and businessmen on the Namanga border have decried high cost of living in the country, blaming the government for the current state of affairs. The residents have further raised concerns on the high prices of basic and vital commodities and the drought situation witnessed in some parts of the country, further urging President Uhuru Kenyatta to find a lasting solution to the scarcity of maize in the country and the high prices of maize flour.
Mimi mkazi wa Namanga, hali ilivyo ya maisha ni ngumu. Kulingana mafuta imepanda bei, vyakula vimepanda bei, usafiri umekuwa ni ghali. Hamna kitu kinaendelea kinakwenda sawa. Kwa hivyo hii mambo ya siasa vile inavyotupeleka, hatujui tunaelekea wapi na tunakwenda wapi.
Ile maisha inatupeleka siasa saa hii ni ngumu kufikiria. Ingawa viongozi bado wanakimbizana na mambo ya siasa, na sisi huko kwenye maisha tunaonya.
Kweli sisi kama wakaaji wa Namanga, hali ya ukame imetuweza zaidi, sababu mvua haijanyesha, na ndo tunategemea kama wafugaji na wakulima, na sasa mvua kwa muda haijanyesha, na vile vile ndugu zetu wamehama kutafutia mifugo malisho na maji, wamehangaika ya kutosha. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali yetu iingilie, iwapatie wananchi wake msaada wa chakula, kwa sababu wakati huu ni wakati wa ukame na vitu vimepanda bei.
And that story takes us to a very short break. Don't go too far.
Despite being visually impaired, he is a jack of all trades. It is our quest to find answers on how to take care of children with special needs and those with disability. You do not need to see musical notes to understand music, but rather to have your soul feel the vibe.
Actually, for us to make a wheelchair, we have to take measurements of the user.
After doing my assessment, I get to know the parent, I get to know the heaviness she's carrying.
Disability comes at different stages of life.
How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga,
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. The next set of millionaires are farmers. As we know, agriculture has been and still is the backbone of...
said that her country was keen on strengthening ties with Kenya in terms of trade and other collaborations.
Yes, it will deal with the shortage, and in fact it will provide a new avenue for collaboration and for export of other commodities that are being produced by factories like Revital and other pharmaceutical products that are being done in Kenya.
We're officially flagging off a shipment which is destined for Pakistan government. You heard that right. This is the first time in history a manufacturer based out of Africa, and specifically Kenya, located in Kilifi County, is exporting syringes used for various purposes in Pakistan by the Pakistan government. We have the powerhouses, which is next door, China and India, which manufacture way more capacity than what Kenya and Revital does. But here we are today, very proud that a country such as Africa has been chosen by the Pakistan government to do business with. So this is a first shipment that we're sending off. Close to about 4 to 5 million pieces of syringes are going, in which we've got a contract that's going to be extended for a period of 2 years.
Now, probes into the killing of Agnes Wanjiru more than a decade ago by a British soldier in Nanyuki have not yielded any fruits, despite both Kenyan and the UK governments promising justice to her family. According to the deceased sister, Rose Wanjiku, little progress has been made in the probe, though Kenya investigators have previously visited the family and recorded statements but nothing has come out of it. Wanjiku, who is the foster mother to Stacy, now 11 years, noted that the daughter learned of the matter through media outlets, and since then she has been trying to question her over the mother's death. John Moshiri Kamunge, the husband to Wanjiku, noted that there was a conspiracy by the two governments to cover up the matter. Wanjiru was last seen entering a hotel room at the Lions Court in Nanyuki after having drinks with two British soldiers on 31st March 2012. Only her body was found 2 months later in a septic tank next to the room.
Sana ulizaga huyu mzungu aliuaga mama yangu, alishikwa. Mimi namrudishia, nikamwambia mimi sijui, lakini sasa tumejua hajashikwa, anatembea tu. Sasa tunataka haki ya Agnes itendeke.
Tupatie ripoti yote kama familia tujue amefika wapi. Ninakumbuka wakati waziri wa Uingereza alipotembelea hapa nchini, aliahidi familia kuwa watashirikiana kufanya uchunguzi na kuhakikisha Shiro amepata haki yake, lakini hakuna kitu kama hiyo inaendelea. Ninakumbuka mkuu wa polisi akisema faili ya Shiro ifunguliwe upya. Tena Kinoti akasema ako tayari na ametayarisha askari wake kuwaendea wanajeshi walihusika na kifo cha Agnes, lakini mpaka wa leo hakuna jambo kama hilo limetendeka.
Now, a stern warning has been issued to those who engage in drug trafficking such as cannabis here in the country. According to the National Council Against Drugs, NACADA, security officers in coastal, east and central countries are required to put up sufficient measures to fight against transportation of bhang from neighboring country of Ethiopia. In addition, the number of bhang users in the country has risen, especially this campaign period, where some leaders are using young people to cause chaos in the meetings, acts which have been condemned.
The regions that border with Ethiopia, where we have challenges of trafficking of cannabis from Ethiopia, but we have also brought on board some other regions like Central, which is basically a consumer of most of the trafficked cannabis from Ethiopia. So today is basically a review of the progress made from the last time we met, and to kind of track progress that has been made since our last meeting in terms of trying to close those routes that we identified, in terms of trying to implement certain strategies that we had agreed about. And therefore, this is really the purpose for the meeting.
We have put up measures. We have done a number of raids. We have aligned people in court. We have the statistics that we are availing later. And together we want to come, as today we want to come and review the gains that we've made and how we can enhance on those gains.
Last time I checked, and what I know is that cannabis sativa, commonly referred to as bhang, is illegal in Kenya.
And we are also doing programs where we are talking to our youth, we are talking to our students who are in both in secondary schools and colleges and other institutions of learning, just to make sure we sensitize them about the dangers of drugs like bhang.
Let's move to Lamu County, where a large number of young people who have been exposed to the use of cocaine in Dau Island, Lamu East constituency in Lamu County, have now vowed to give up on drugs and instead concentrate on raising their families. Led by Omar Aweso, the young leaders in Lamu Island say it has not been easy to quit drugs, as most of them are jobless. They now want county leaders in collaboration with the national government to create more job opportunities for them.
Tumeharibika, tumeathirika kwa maraibu kwa sababu ni stress. Tukiangalia hakuna kazi, life ngumu, uchumi wa Kenya umepanda.
Sisi tupate kazi, tuachane na hii vitu, kwa sababu ukimkamata huyu mwingine, ukimkamata huyu mwingine tayari. Hiyo sio suluhisho.
Hii dawa methadone iweko hapa, sisi tupate kufaidika. Tuangalie makazi, tuangalie maisha, tuangalie mabibi.
Now, a group of artists from Basil, Kajiado County have expressed their disappointment with politicians whom they claim use their songs without paying them. The group say there are many talented youth who are working tirelessly and they're using their own money to record their songs for politicians who do not pay them in return. They're now calling for help that their rights be protected for them to benefit from their talents.
Yani mimi ni msanii, nimetoa ngoma ya harusi, nimetoa ya election, na kenye imetuboesha sana ni watu ambao tunawaimbia, tunatumiwa. Yani kuna wengine ni kama tunawafaidisha, na tumetumia pesa sisi wenyewe ndio tunatumia hizo pesa kuwaimbia, lakini hatufaidi, yani haitufaidi sisi, ni kama inawafaidi wengine, maana ni kama imekuwa utapeli. Na
wakati mwingine tunaweza tukaimba watu wakatuita njooni huku, kama mfano Kajiado kwenye kaunti yetu ambayo tupo saa hizi, tunaenda tunawaimbia watu kama wanasiasa, inakuwa kama tunawapigia debe, lakini mwisho wa siku wao wananyamaza, watusaidii.
Kweli ni jasho yetu. Mimi wanatumia tu wimbo zetu kuisikiza, kama nimeenda kuperform mahali, lakini hakuna kitu nimeipata. Kwa road show zote ziko, lakini hatujasaidika.
The Kenya Agricultural Livestock Research Organization, KALRO, has developed a new cassava variety that is resistant to cassava mosaic and brown diseases. Addressing the press, KALRO Extension Officer Lynette Nabangi said the two diseases have been a thorn in the flesh for farmers and attributed to losses and decreased production of cassava in the country. Nabangi further stated that KALRO has come up with seed units that can produce more and viral-free cassava varieties. Farmers will also be educated to better productivity measures for food security.
And we also have some cassava varieties which are doing very well in this region of Busia. These varieties are resistant to cassava mosaic disease and cassava brown streak disease, which are very serious disease in this particular region of Busia County. So far, the problem has been lack of enough clean planting materials of cassava.
Mtu amesema mambo ya market. There's always market. Even there's food. To watu wakishashiba, that's already a market. So we are going to teach our farmers to do more production so that tuweze kuwa na chakula chingi hapa Busia.
Naongelelea kuhusu upanzi wa mihogo. Tunashukuru kwamba leo hii tumekuja kujifunza mbinu tofauti na zile geni za upanzi za mihogo. Tuko na pia mbegu zile ambazo ni za kisasa ambayo inatusaidia pia kukuza mihogo, na pia tumepata elimu kuhusu kuongeza udhamana katika upanzi wa mihogo.
Meru Cooperatives has today launched the Meru County Cooperative Societies Forum Limited, which brings together a host of cooperatives drawn from several sectors. In today's launch, the forum has defended the new Cooperative Act that says once a director hits 70 years of age, he or she should vacate the office to allow another leader to take over. The forum will also provide guidance on the best acts that should be applied to reflect the interests of every society, as well as help in searching for markets of local produced products.
Able to utilize the forum as it is to be able to defend the new Cooperative Act, which and come to say that the directors, once you get 70 years, you vacate the seats. And through this forum, we were able to voice our issues, we were able to voice our deliberations, and we were able to take all the way to the national level and say that these directors are the owners of the societies that we have in the Meru County and the entire in the country. So they are supposed to be given the will and the members to choose their directors they wish, because these are their societies. And if their leadership has been all through the years and you have never experienced any problems in those societies, why is the 70-year limit an issue?
The SACCOs are depending with the bananas to get savings. The Mela, when they sell their Mela, put the money in the SACCOs. So that's why we have decided, let us have a unifying organization so that we can have some control points. Number two, we want this forum to help us in solving our small disputes instead of every day going to court. When we have an issue in the election or we have issues in the office, they can be refunded to an arbitration arm of the cooperative of the forum, and it is going to sort the problem.
Leaders and parents from Ganze Sub-County, Kilifi County are now calling on the restructuring and an increase in the National Government Constituency Development Fund to underdeveloped constituencies. The leaders claim that the marginalized constituencies such as Ganze will continue to experience underdevelopment if the current allocation of NGCDF to school remains as it is right now. Currently, each constituency in Kenya receives an equal share of 100 million shillings from the kitty, but the needs vary from the numbers of development projects required, and with Ganze constituency being among the poorest constituencies in the country with challenges of infrastructure, low education standards and high poverty levels, the leaders asked the government to increase the funding in the area.
Hiyo CDF kwanza inatakikana hata yaongezwe kabisa, kwa sababu kuanzia sasa tunaona inagawanywa. Sisi ambao hata miundo misingi ya mashule haijafikia kipao cha shule zingine, unakuta wanapatiwa sawa pamoja na sisi. So ikiongezwa, bila shaka hata Mheshimiwa Teddy anaweza kufanya makubwa zaidi.
Kia tukisema kwamba tunataka CDF iongezwe, hii pesa ya CDF ikiongezwa moja kwa moja ni pesa ambayo inakuja kwa sehemu ambayo inahitajika. Kwa sababu pesa zikiachwa kwa wizara, kwa mfano, huwa tunaona mawaziri wakienda sehemu tofauti tofauti. Lakini ukiulizia zile pesa zinaingia katika mashule yetu, zile shule zetu ambazo ziko na shida, ni pesa hafifu sana. Lakini kama pesa ingeletwa kwa CDF, huwa hata kuna mikutano ya watu kuulizwa mnataka tufanyeje. Wazazi wangesema tuwekeze mahali fulani.
Na appreciate ile miradi inaendelea. The NGCDF Ganze constituency for giving a priority on matters infrastructure for the sub-county.